What's up, YouTube? So earlier today, Bungie decided to do an open house Q&A with the Crucible devs on the Bungie forums. We are going to take a look at some of the questions that were answered and see what we got. Now, I can't really go over every question that was answered, as there are 4 pages of answered questions, and I went through most of them, and trust me, you don't want to go through all of them. I picked the best ones, or the most relevant ones rather. And the first question we're going to take a look at, it's kind of a long question with an equally long answer. I kind of shortened it down for this video in particular. But the first question is from C. Sparrow of Doom, and he asks, I can understand wanting to improve weapon diversity, but you don't achieve this by nerfing an entire class right to the ground. I'd love to see the most recent weapon stats from Iron Banner 5.0 and when Iron Banner 6 comes out. I want you to watch how non-existent auto rifles are. If we are talking balance, why do snipers still have final round perk? And he gets an answer from Noosk, to which it says, we've heard plenty of mixed feedback about autos since 1.1.1 went live. Some people love the changes, and some people think we went too far. We're still listening, still playing every day, and always trying to deliver a great experience in competitive multiplayer. It was always our intention for the Destiny sandbox to be an involving gamescape similar to games like StarCraft and League of Legends, where balance changes get rolled out based on emerging player trends and playstyles. Not to sound like a broken record, but to address your question of the desired overall goal, I think we explained our intentions in the weapon update dev blog that came out a while back. And he goes on to post the link to the blog, which I have up on screen here. Then he goes on to say, it's our goal for the auto rifle to be visceral, close to medium range chainsaw, and drop in effectiveness at long ranges. Looking at raw DPS, the auto rifle is the most lethal primary class across all Destiny activities. That's not just Suros. If you think at the top 10 lethal weapons over a period of 30 days, 6 of them are auto rifles. Note the spike in Suros starting on 113, likely due to the Iron Banner auto rifle bounty. The ratios stay relatively consistent for non-Suros auto rifles when Iron Banner is not in session. It's extremely effective in most combat scenarios and engagement distances. In fact, it is so effective that its intended role in the primary family is being particularly obscured. We want you to be able to deliver a steady stream of precision damage with an auto rifle, and you still can. But you'll need to get a little bit closer. And then he goes on to talk about the goals and the changes and whatnot. But we don't need to go over those because, well, they've already been gone over. The next interesting question was asked by Lord Reven, who asked, can you talk more about the design intentions for Control in the Crucible and offer insight on development of the game type? And he was answered by Mantis, who replied, Control was designed as a light objective layer on top of a basic deathmatch foundation. Players who just want to kill and ignore their team can do that. Players who aren't as confident in their thumb skill can run bases and help their team just by capturing zones. That's the basics. We wanted players to start out in Control because it's super fun and very Destiny, and keeps players near obvious locations so anyone can follow waypoints to find a fight. It makes sense. It's been in every game that I can think of. Domination, hardpoint, whatever you want to call it. It's been around for a while, so I think everyone knows it and is comfortable with it, but it still has that TDM feel, I guess. The next question I'll just streamline for you, which asks if we can get more vault space, and Urk answered that to say that they are working on it, so you can expect that to happen in the near future at some point. The next question asked is why the Hunter's throwing knife isn't a one-shot kill, but the Titan's shoulder charge is. The question was answered by Josh Hamrick to say that the throwing knife has a range to keep you out of harm's way, and the shoulder charge is a bonus and not a melee attack. The next question we have is a super good one, and it was brought up by Bishop2KB3. He asked, how is damage calculated? And he goes on to explain how he thinks it's calculated and even provides some spreadsheet data to back it up. And Josh Hammock replied to basically tell him that he's mostly correct, and which I have included the spreadsheet links in the description below so you can check those out for yourself. I do recommend checking them out because they're worthwhile, trust me. The next question is a mixed bag of emotions that was asked by whatever that guy's name is, which says, will we see ranked playlists? And Mantis replied with saying, we didn't do ranks in the Crucible right out of the gate for a number of reasons, but they could make an appearance someday. Inferno playlists will add some cool variety, but I don't think they are the way to play Destiny. I'm really not sure what he means by I don't think they're the way to play. If he's referring to ranked games, that saddens me greatly, but I really don't know. The next question was asked by Nick. I'm just going to botch your last name, so we're just going to go with Nick. And he asks if they planned on adding any more game modes, to which Mantis replied yes. For Destiny's launch, we focused on delivering a small set of solid game types that we believed in, so stay tuned. So that sounds promising for the future. I'm really looking forward to hopefully Capture the Flag, which I would assume they would bring out. And the last question is probably the most, I don't want to say hurtful, but I don't know. You be the judge on this one. I, along with at least this guy, Cobra, asked why we haven't gotten private lobbies yet and if they were going to be a thing in the future. Which Deej replied, we know it's the thing you want, it's a feature we think about a lot. Today we're talking about the state of the game post 1.1.1. We don't mean to ignore you, it's just not the topic of conversation for the day. Now, my question here is, why can't you just say no if it's a no? Why can't you say, we're working on it, but it's something that's a bit more complicated than you would think, or even, yeah, it's possible in the future sometime. But to say you're only talking about the state of the game post 1.1.1 and not the topic for today was kind of, well, hurtful. There were a lot of other questions that were posted that didn't necessarily reflect post 1.1.1. So why this one was excluded or shunned is kind of weird. But other than that, most of the questions that I didn't cover were either given hollow answers or weren't worth covering in this video. If you want to read up on all the questions asked and answered, I left a link in the description. So with all that said, let me know what you guys thought about this. My personal thoughts are, one, that we the players need to be a bit more respectful and start asking questions that warrant real answers. And two, the devs need to start being a bit more direct with their answers and start providing us with information that is useful, rather than providing us with answers that were taken from Marshawn Lynch. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something. And until next time, guys, peace.